Women's basketball, women's sports really, but women's basketball has been on the rise. And it's kind of like what Magic and Bird was to men's basketball. Like this moment, we kind of needed something.
This is
to
that
just
moment.
And Caitlin's that moment. And I think a lot of it has to do with her logo.
Imagine being so talented, so impactful, that you single-handedly revive an entire league, and then watch that same league slowly turn its back on you. That's what's happening to Caitlin Clark. She's not just a breakout rookie or a rising star. She's a catalyst for a movement, the face of a WNBA renaissance. She brought record-breaking viewership, packed arenas, and global attention. But instead of celebration, she's facing cold resistance, questionable technical fouls, relentless criticism in the media, and deafening silence from league leadership. And now one of the league's most respected icons, Sue Bird, has decided to speak up. The silence is over. What she just revealed changes everything. You need to hear what she uncovered, because this isn't just about Caitlin anymore. It's about the soul of the league.
And in my experience, that is the rule.
Yeah.
That's not the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
And it feels like the narratives that have gotten formed in our league, it's like the exception to the rule gets spun as if it's the rule.
Yeah.
It's like the small little thing that happens gets
Turns into
taken as if
something big.
it's always happening, right?
Yeah.
Like one person might not like somebody, now the whole league doesn't like somebody.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
So I love that you said that, mainly because that has been my experience.
Let's start with a podcast that cracked everything open. Sue Bird's View, the four-time WNBA champion, Olympic gold medalist, and undisputed legend, didn't just offer commentary. She dropped a bombshell. Instead of celebrating Caitlin Clark for smashing records and drawing millions of new fans to women's basketball, Sue pivoted to something far more troubling. The league's own PR machinery allegedly trying to dim Clark's spotlight. According to Sue, internal league memos were circulated to broadcast teams urging them to limit coverage of Caitlin Clark and instead pivot to broader league-wide narratives. Think about that. Why would a league surging in popularity because of one rookie try to downplay the very star fueling its growth? Sue, drawing from her own experience as a rookie, reflected on how veterans once lifted her up, not shut her out. But the frustration in her voice made it clear. This wasn't coming from jealousy. It was disappointment. Disappointment in a system that was actively working against its brightest light. And it didn't stop there. Sue revealed that in one internal WNBA strategy meeting, a senior executive allegedly asked, "Can we use a race angle to boost mid-season ratings? That's not just irresponsible, it's dangerous." Instead of letting stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese shine for their talent, the league allegedly pushed a storyline based on race. Black versus white. Grit versus grace. It wasn't subtle either. One memo, reportedly titled Racial Arc Storyline Tactics, floated suggestions like side-by-side comparison graphics featuring Clark and Reese with phrases like ice versus grit. The players didn't co-sign this. Angel Reese made it crystal clear on social media. "I'm here to play basketball, not be a prop in a racial narrative." Clark echoed the same, stating, "We're athletes first." What was intended as clever marketing quickly became exploitative. The fans felt it. The players felt it. And while the media leaned into the drama, the real question became, who actually benefits from this? Because it wasn't the athletes. Now let's talk about the growing list of questionable technical fouls. Caitlin Clark received a tech on May 18 for tapping the backboard in frustration. No screaming, no object throwing, just a simple slap. Compare that to Diana Taurasi, who yelled at a ref, flung her warm-up jacket across the court, and didn't get ejected. No tech, just a warning. The internet erupted. Side-by-side videos flooded social media. Same actions, different responses. And then came the alleged referee memo from May 10th. One that reportedly instructed officials to closely monitor rookies like Clark for unsportsmanlike conduct. Translation? Ref her harder. Imagine being 22, tasked with lifting an entire league, and every time you show a little emotion, you're penalized. That's not enforcing discipline. That's targeting. And if this is how Caitlin Clark is treated, with all the cameras on her, what's happening to the rookies no one's watching? Who's calling these shots? And why are they so terrified of letting a young superstar just play the game? One thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark's fans aren't staying quiet. They're filling arenas, buying every number 22 jersey in sight, and standing by her louder than ever. Imagine fans lining up hours before tip-off, arenas selling out, and national broadcast buzzing, just to catch a glimpse of one player. That's the impact Caitlin Clark has had on the WNBA. She didn't just join the league, she ignited it. With her arrival came an energy shift. Fresh faces, new sponsors, viral clips, and record-breaking numbers. She brought in fans who had never watched a women's game before. She brought hope, spotlight, and dollars. And how did the league respond? Instead of embracing her success, the league began labeling her supporters as toxic. Sure, every fan base has trolls, people who take things too far. But instead of addressing the real issues, like racism, targeted hate, and online harassment, the WNBA told players to avoid social media entirely. That's not leadership, that's avoidance. Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe weren't having it. On their podcast, Rapinoe put it plainly, "You can't wish racism away, you confront it." Bird followed up with a hard truth. The WNBA has always been about community, so why are we ghosting that community now? Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark kept doing what she always does, signing autographs, showing up for fans, keeping her head down, and never throwing shade at anyone. She handled the chaos with class. So here's the real question. When did enthusiasm become threatening? Let's talk money, because this is where things really start to expose the truth. On April 20th, the WNBA signed a massive 10-year, $2 billion media deal with ESPN and Amazon. That's almost 3 times more than their previous deal. And make no mistake, Caitlin Clark is the reason that happened. Ratings have skyrocketed by 240%. Ticket sales jumped 85%. Jersey sales surpassed $25 million in just a few months. She's not just a rookie. She's a brand, a movement, the engine behind the WNBA surge. And yet, even with all that momentum, the league still tried to pull back. A leaked internal document titled Safe versus Star Power laid it out clearly. Option A, go all in on Clark and embrace the star. Option B, mix in drama, rivalries, and balance the exposure. Why? Because they feared making it too much about her. But here's the thing. You don't hide LeBron James when he changes the game. You don't dim Serena Williams to keep things even. You lean into greatness. So why is the WNBA playing scared? And what happened next was unfortunately predictable. Instead of celebrating Clark's greatness, the league leaned into conflict. Every hard foul became a headline. Every technical turned into a viral clip. Every scuffle was framed as Caitlin versus the world. The game-winning shots, the brilliant assists, barely mentioned. Why? Because controversy gets clicks. But here's the problem. Clicks don't build loyalty. And fans started to notice. A recent poll of WNBA season ticket holders revealed that 42% felt the league was using drama to drive engagement. Even sponsors took a step back. Some delayed Clark-focused ad campaigns because they didn't want to be tied to the controversy. Let that sink in. The league's most exciting rookie was being sidelined by spin. All because someone thought controversy sold better than excellence. It gets worse. A leaked audio clip from a WNBA executive meeting on May 15th revealed deep divisions at the top. One executive said, "She's our cash cow. We can't hide her." Another snapped back. Clicks from conflict don't build long-term fans. The debate? How to market Caitlin Clark. Highlight her brilliance, or stir up drama. Old school voices wanted balance. New school voices saw a golden opportunity. But here's the truth. When you get a generational star, you build around her. You don't treat her like a side plot. You do what the NBA did with Jordan, what the Warriors did with Steph Curry. You hand her the keys and let her drive. Caitlin Clark isn't the problem. She's the blueprint. And players feel it too. Angel Reese didn't ask to be made the villain. Caitlin Clark didn't sign up to be painted as the perfect hero. These are elite athletes, competitors at the highest level, not characters in a scripted rivalry. They never auditioned for this drama. All they wanted was to play the game they love, earn respect, and grow the sport. But the league spin machine had other plans. The media turned their careers into a made-for-TV series. heroes versus villains, drama over discipline. Angel Reese said it best. I'm not here to be a character in a rivalry. I'm here to play. Clark echoed that maturity. I respect all my opponents. I'm just focused on my game. That's leadership. That's professionalism. That's the kind of example young fans need to see. Athletes focus on their craft, not manipulated by narratives. But instead, the league fed the fire. They pushed a storyline that might have boosted engagement short-term, but long-term, it's a problem. It reduces elite athletes to props. It turns highlight reels into tabloid clips. It's sideline performance for personality drama. And that's not empowerment. That's exploitation. A league that claims to uplift women shouldn't reduce them to reality TV roles. It should celebrate their brilliance, on and off the court. It should amplify their voices, not twist them into conflict. Sue Bird didn't have to speak up. She's retired. Her legacy is sealed, her trophy case full. She's got championships, respect, and a platform she earned over 2 decades of excellence. But when she saw the way Caitlin Clark was being treated, silenced, criticized, and in some ways exploited, something in her shifted. Because this wasn't just about a single rookie anymore. It was about the entire direction of the WNBA. It was about who gets to shine, who gets protected, and who gets silenced. Her podcast didn't just stir the pot. It lit the fuse. She didn't rant. She laid out the facts. She named the problem for what it was: politics, bias, racism, and a culture of quiet compliance. She pulled back the curtain on the league's internal memos, the calculated narratives, the people making decisions behind closed doors, and reminded everyone watching that silence is complicity. But most importantly, Sue reminded us what the WNBA was always meant to be: a league built on empowerment, community, equality, and greatness. Her voice wasn't just a hot take. It was a lifeline. It gave power and validation to everything frustrated fans had been feeling, but didn't have the platform to prove. Suddenly, the whispers weren't just fan theories. They were grounded in credibility. And it became crystal clear. Caitlin Clark isn't just talented, she's transformative. And the league? It's been too cautious, too political, too afraid of what happens when someone truly changes a game. Instead of building around her brilliance, they've been managing it, minimizing it. But here's the truth. You don't suppress generational talent. You elevate it. You don't shrink in fear when the spotlight gets bigger. You rise with it. So now the real question becomes, what kind of league does the WNBA want to be? One that hides its brightest stars to keep the peace, or one bold enough to celebrate them unapologetically and grow from it? Caitlin Clark isn't asking for special treatment. She's asking for fairness, for the right to be celebrated not for who people say she represents, but for what she actually does, her performance, her poise, her presence. It's earned. And now, the responsibility falls on all of us, fans, viewers, players, and the media. It's time to hold the league accountable. Because this moment, it's bigger than basketball. It's about truth, respect, and building the kind of future where every generational talent, no matter their background, gets the platform they deserve. So speak up, share this, comment, subscribe, because what we do next will shape the future of this league.